Fearscape Media Network, exploring the unknown, one podcast at a time.
Hello there, my name is Sam.
And I'm the man with no name, Lance Wayne.
And we're the hosts of The Antagonists, an all-villain podcast. You can join us every other Thursday for a new episode as we discuss all of your favorite villains from books, movies, and more.
Are the villains you love to hate really as wicked as they seem? Tune in and find out.
You can find us on all major podcast platforms or join us over on fearscapemedia.com.
Ghosts in the Attics, Bodies in the Basements may contain graphic, violent, vulgar, or explicit content not suitable for all listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back, listeners. This is your host, Anna.
And I'm Lindsey, and happy Friday the 13th.
Yes, it's a spooktacular day. If you don't like Friday the 13th, and hopefully we can turn your opinions around about it. And if you do like Friday the 13th, welcome. We appreciate you.
And also, and people who know me personally will understand this, and I'll get into it later, but happy Friday the 13th. Careful out there, because Jason is alive. We dug up his body. I had to say it. I'll get into why.
Speaking as to Friday the 13th, I have some fun facts about the movie series Friday the 13th pulled up.
Ooh.
So, yay fun.
Most people are shocked to hear that I've actually only ever seen like 2 or 3 of the Friday the 13th movies.
At one point, I think had watched all of them when I was a kid, but I can't tell you I remember anything. I can't remember what I did an hour ago, so.
I can tell you the one that I always reference, like the Jason is alive thing, is I think it's I forget which number it is. It's either 6, 7, or 8. But this guy, Jason killed this guy's family, and he goes to prove to himself that Jason is dead, digs up Jason's body and stabs it with a metal rod during a thunderstorm, and lightning reanimates Jason.
Amateur shit right there.
So then he's trying to tell everybody, like, oh my God, Jason Voorhees is back alive. Like, we dug up his body. That's how I know he's alive. So yeah.
All right. So a couple fun facts about the movie franchise Friday the 13th before we get into the lore of Friday the 13th, or actually more specifically, we realized the number 13. So here's a few fun facts, you guys. The movie was shot at Camp No-Be-Bo-Sco in Blairstown, New Jersey. It's still an active Boy Scout campground, and you can visit the official site. We'll put the link in the show notes.
That's really cool.
Yeah, isn't that neat? Like, it's an actual like campground that you can go visit where they filmed a movie. That's really cool. I mean, you can visit most movie locations, to be perfectly honest. They just shot a movie in my hometown. Like, they had half of Main Street blocked off. It pissed off several people who worked down there. But it's going to be a Hallmark movie called Hometown. And like, it's going to show the gazebo and everything. And all I could think is, why the fuck would anybody want to shoot a movie where I'm from? I can't tell. I sound like Porky Pig just now. Good Lord. If you guys are wondering, I have had no Red Bull today. None. And for me, that's like a sin.
I've had very little caffeine today.
I've been trying.
It's rough. It's rough out here, folks.
Drink more water. It's another fun fact, because it was shot at a Boy Scout campground. The production company made a sizable donation to the organization in order to use their campground, which I think is really sweet.
Yeah, that is. It's really considerate.
Yeah, Boy Scouts. My brother-in-laws were Boy Scouts for the entirety of their childhood into graduation. They're Eagle Scouts. Woo, go them. I don't have the tenacity to put my son in Boy Scouts. It's a lot of effort. you got to do a lot of things as a camp mom or den mother or whatever they call them. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't do fun things as a child, so I don't know what fun activities have for their lingo. I do know Scouts Honor though. There is that. Another fun fact, while most of the cast and crew stayed in local hotels during the shoot, Tom Salvini and his assistant Tasso I'm gonna fuck this up. So stayed on the campground itself, even watching the horror movies after hours on a VCR that Salvani brought. So like I guess they were trying to like stay in character, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, get the acting done without
Despite
killing
being
people.
filmed, right? Despite there being an actual Friday the 13th in June of 1980, the date the film is set, it was released a month earlier on May 9th.
Oh, I wonder why. I feel like it would have done really well on an actual Friday the 13th release date.
Yeah, I do too. I don't know what the
But a lot of
reasoning
big
behind that is.
a lot of big movies come out around May. So maybe
Oh,
it was to
yeah.
get that like blockbuster. I mean, because The Exorcist came out Christmas.
That's right.
It didn't
It's
come
my
out
favorite
Halloween.
Christmas movie.
But you know what I mean? So it probably has a lot to do with that, like the big when the summer blockbusters and like big movies come out around Christmas too, like all that.
And
So it probably has
guys,
to do with
just in
that.
case you can hear it, we're having some audio difficulties. Zoom hates us the last like 5 times we've tried to record.
And can I
So
just say we didn't have
if we
these problems
sound-
until we started paying for it.
Right. If we sound robotic at some points or very like staticky, know that we do have professional equipment. We're trying our best. The internet hates us.
Yeah.
Sally Fields originally auditioned for the role of Alice Hardy. And then the last one I'm going to give you is there still remains a great deal of controversy surrounding the killing of the real life snake in the movie. Not because just a real animal was killed on screen, but because it wasn't a wild animal they found. It had an owner who allegedly wasn't told that they were going to be killing it.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah. So there's we'll put the link to this list in our show notes as well, so you have it.
I
But
actually also have a
fun
movie
facts.
fact that
Okay,
was not
fun.
on your list. I didn't say anything because I wanted to hear your list first. to see if
There's
it was on
40.
there.
There's
Oh, there's
40
40.
things.
So
Yeah,
maybe it's
I
on there
couldn't do all of
somewhere.
them. Yeah.
Maybe it's somewhere on there, but I just found this out a few years ago. First of all, backstory to make some sense about my comment earlier and all of that. Back in 2006, I started working down in the haunted house. I think I've mentioned that in previous episodes,
Yeah.
but I started out being in this room with my sister who got me into being in the haunted houses. And after some construction changes and everything, her room moved and I took over her part. So my character was a girl in a sleeping bag down on the floor because we did our haunted house in this place called the Underground, and it's really just a basement next to a parking garage, like downtown. But so I'm laying down there, and we were put on by the JCs, by our local JCs, and I'm laying there. I'm like, hey, the JCs told me if I could stay down here all night, I'd win $100. And then I turn my flashlight off. Then out comes Jason. He slams my sleeping bag up against this metal fridge that's in the room. Blah, blah, blah. So ever since then, there's always been like a connection with Jason. I'm still friends with the guy who played Jason. Shout out to Nathan if you listen to this. But and it kind of escalated. I did like a whole comic, like stick figure. If you've ever seen my stick figure Jason, it's all based off of Nathan, and like there's a whole comic series, whatever. So then now every Friday the 13th, I honor that part of my life or whatever. But it's actually not my favorite movie franchise. My favorite is Michael Myers. So
Yes.
Nobody hate on me.
I love
But-
Freddy Krueger. I love Freddy. I love Jason. I love Michael Myers.
Like, I love
grew
all
up
of it, but my
watching
favorite was
scary,
always the
fucked up
Halloween
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Halloween movies are great. I'm gonna have to say my favorite as a kid. I was allowed to watch these movies from the age of like 3 and up, guys. It's not cool. Don't do that to your children. It gives them nightmares or it makes them incredibly weird, like me. I really love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, like hands down. So fucked up. I remember whenever, because I watched the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and there's like a toe or a thumb in like the chili. It's made out of people.
Yeah.
And I couldn't eat fucking chili for like a good year and a half, but I loved that movie. I watched it constantly. I just couldn't eat chili for a long time. I was convinced that even though I knew that it was ground beef, that it was actually ground people. Like,
Oh, but back before we get like way off topic, talking about like our connections and stuff to the movies. My sister called me a few years ago to tell me this movie fact, which maybe it's on the list, maybe it's not, whatever. But we all know the Jason sound, right? Did that come through on the mic?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure. But did you know that at least in the original movie, like I don't really know about all, like there's like a billion, right? At least in the original, it's ki ma ma ma, and it's supposed to stand for kill 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 mom mom mom, and it's supposed to be like what Mama Voorhees heard Jason's voice as in her head, telling her to kill people.
Oh, weird.
That blew my mind when I found that out.
I'm glad that it's just a noise instead, because a key mom thing is weird.
But allegedly that's what it is, though.
I mean, but it's like sped up or slowed down enough to where you can't hear that it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah. So I don't know. But also, so before we get into like history,
we're gonna piss off so many fans of this movie. I'm so
I know,
sorry.
right? They're gonna be like, how do you not know these things? Look, I told you my connection. I never claimed to be an expert on the Friday the 13th franchise.
I'm not an expert on anything in life at all.
But let me ask you though, like, are you superstitious? Like, do you feel Friday the 13th is like unlucky or any other superstitions?
No, I don't think Friday the 13th is unlucky. I own a black cat. He crosses my path multiple times a day. And I don't believe that breaking a mirror is unlucky. I just think it's unlucky if you get cut. I do, however, I don't fuck with like voodoo or hoodoo or anything that I'm not.
But that gets into like whole other like cultural beliefs and stuff more so than the superstitions.
But, like some people believe like certain things are tied to mirrors, like spirits and stuff. Like I don't believe in all that.
Right.
I can't. I have too many mirrors in my house. I can't. For the sake of my sanity, I can't be scared of mirrors. I can't believe they steal your soul, because if I did, I would be fucked.
I only have one superstition, and that is that every Friday the 13th, I have to say that be careful because Jason is alive. We dug up his body. And it sounds ridiculous. I understand this, but the reason why, because like I already said, I do all of that. It's like a paying homage to like Nathan and like all my friends and family down at the haunted house. But the reason it became like a superstition, because first of all, I love the number 13. It's always been my favorite number. Friday the 13th, I've always had at least a good day, if not like a great day. Like I always remember this one time I was probably 16, 17, and everything was lined up where it should be going wrong. Like I was going to be late for work and like all this stuff, but it all worked out. And I was early for work somehow and like all this shit. So I'm like, oh, well, Friday the 13th is actually my lucky day. But there was one Friday the 13th. And I remember standing outside of my job. I worked at a movie theater, standing outside of my job, waiting for my boss to show up with my friend Katie. And here comes our coworker limping down the sidewalk. We're just like, dude, like, what's wrong? He got hit by a car on his walk to work.
Fuck.
And like the car was obviously going slow because he walked to work. But I was like, I think because I used to post the message on MySpace bulletins.
Right.
Aging myself here. And so I think I was just telling Katie about how I hadn't done that yet, but like, whatever, I'll just do it later. And then he got hit by a car. So I was like, oh, I have to do this earlier now, or people are going to get hit by cars. So shout out to Katie and shout out to that coworker who we just don't talk anymore. I don't know. Nothing serious.
Yeah.
But.
All right. So most people have a fear of the number 13. They find it unlucky. Just like walking under a ladder, crossing paths with a black cat, breaking a mirror. Many people hold a lot of like weight in the belief that Friday the 13th brings bad luck. Why is the real question? Like, why do people believe that? So many Western cultures have historically associated the numbers 12 to be like a big deal. It's the perfect number. Some have said there's 12 days of Christmas, there's 12 months, and there's 12 zodiac signs. There's Hercules and 12 laborers that he went through. There's the 12 gods of Olympus and 12 tribes of Israel, just to name a few. But why is 13 considered so unlucky?
So basically, because 12 is perfect, 13 throws that perfection off. And some of the really big examples that are like given to potentially be like the origins of why people see 13 as bad is take, for example, so one example is like Jesus and his 12 disciples, and most specifically them coming together for the Last Supper, because we all know the Last Supper, the 12th disciple who makes number 13 would be Judas, who then betrayed Jesus, who then also is crucified on a Friday. So then that kind of gets Friday and 13 together without it being an actual Friday the 13th. And then another example is there's a Norse legend where there was like a dinner party of gods and there was 12 of them. And then here comes party crasher Loki. So then he's number 13. So 13's bad. And then, and then from there, but all of it basically say like, it's not 12, therefore 13's bad. But then you throw in the Friday, like I already mentioned, Jesus is crucified on a Friday after the Last Supper happened.
Not to mention they're so rare. They don't happen every month.
Well, it wasn't a Friday the 13th. It's just like Friday is then deemed bad.
Oh.
Yeah. And so there was like allegedly other like bad Fridays that like allegedly Adam and Eve ate the apple on a Friday. Allegedly Cain murdered Abel on a Friday. Stuff like that. So then it's just kind of coincidentally Friday, coincidentally Thursday, or not Thursday. Sorry, coincidentally 13. So it's just two separate things that have now developed into one lumped together superstition of Friday the 13th bad.
Right. Which is so bizarre because yes, you made valid points, but at some point any number could be a bad number. It's just what people put their superstitions into.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Because like everybody has like their number, whether it's like a number that follows you around everywhere. In one of the articles that I read about the number 13, it talks about like there's one musical composer who was born on the 13th, died on the 13th, and his entire life was terrified of the number.
Oh man.
It's just like, also what happened to you in your life where you're so scared of that number? And then how tragic that then you also died on that day.
Right. That would be weird. I always thought it would be like I've seen in cemeteries before where their birthday and their death day is the same. I always thought that would be the most shittiest birthday present to have is to die. Like,
right.
Happy birthday to splat. You're on the cake. Like, it just sounds horrible.
But there was actually, or I guess there have been several, but the first known Friday the 13th that is deemed as a possible origin story for Friday the 13th goes all the way back to October 13th, 1307. And it was when King Philip IV of France had hundreds of the Knights Templar arrested. And then they were arrested for a bunch of like apparent illegal activity and stuff. And but I guess ultimately like the king just wanted access to their financial resources. But the Knights Templar are always like real mysterious and like no one knows what's really happening with them. And so it was all like, oh, this is so weird. Like, why are they arrested? And then like a bunch of them got executed and stuff like that, which also, side note, before we move on to other Friday the 13th, Knights Templar are also involved with the 23 Enigma, but that's a whole other episode. But yeah, so no one knows really like the truth of that, except for that it happened on a Friday the 13th. So it's like, oh, so maybe Friday the 13th is bad. But then other things have happened on the Friday the 13th. There have been other historical like major events happening on Friday the 13th, including the German bombing of Buckingham Palace in 1940. The murder of Kitty Genovese. I don't know if I said that right. In Queens, New York in 1964. A cyclone that killed more than 300,000 people in Bangladesh in November of 1970.
Damn.
The disappearance. I've not had caffeine today. Very minimal amount. The disappearance of Chilean Air Force plane in the Andes in 1972. And even Tupac was killed in 1996 on a Friday the 13th.
Man.
So things happen on Friday the 13th, and now it's just kind of associated with like, oh no, unlucky. Even though I disagree, I stand for Friday the 13th forever.
You're not alone in that. Have you ever heard of the 13th Club?
I have not, but how can I join?
Right. So in the late 19th century, this New York guy named Captain William Fowler wanted to remove the stigma surrounding the number 13, and particularly the unwritten rules that having 13 guests at a dinner table, about not having 13 guests at your dinner table. So I guess like
Thanks,
the hard
Judas
and
and
fast
Loki.
rule. I guess the hard and fast rule was like 12 or under, maybe. I don't know.
I wonder if it has to do, it's got to do with like the Judas and Loki things. Those are both big dinners with 12 guests.
Well, I know that when you buy like sets of plates, they like the older plates, like, because I like vintage shit, they usually come in sets of 8 or 12.
I've only ever seen sets of 8.
Oh yeah, I have my China hutch is a set of 12. So maybe it was based on dishes.
It's also probably just like nice, even number.
Right. I'm not entirely certain. He wanted to he found an exclusive society club. We love society clubs. And it was called the 13 Club. This group regularly dined on the 13th day of the month in the 13th room of the Knickerbocker Cottage, a popular watering hole that Fowler had owned from 1863 to 1883. Before setting down a 13-course meal, members would pass beneath a ladder and a banner reading this phrase that I'm not even going to try to butcher in Latin. But in English, it says, "Those of us who are about to die salute you."
Oh my God.
And that's the 13th Club. And we all know about Friday the 13th. We talked about it a little bit ago. The movie, the legend, the importance of 13 in pop culture. A lot of it has to do with Friday the 13th, written by Thomas William Lawson. It's a novel, and then it got turned into a movie. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Looks like we're gonna have to put it on our book club list. So yeah, I mean, there's just so much things to cover. There really are. The horror movie Friday the 13th, like I said earlier, was released in 1980, and it introduced the world to a man wearing a hockey mask named Jason, and he's best known for for being the famous superstition in pop culture around this day. So not to mention there's tons of merchandise, video games, and terrifying Halloween costumes. It's fantastic.
I actually have the one and only wreath I have ever made ever. I'm a very creative person, but I always say it doesn't translate to my hands.
Right. Mine either.
The best I ever do is like the no-sew tutus for my kids. It's the best I can do with my hands. But one year I made a wreath. It was one of those like the burlap mesh stuff.
Oh yeah.
But like mine was like the soft kind, not the real plasticky shiny kind. I don't know. But you make like a little wreath, and it's so fragile. I don't know how it's still together all these years later, because I'm sure I did not do it right. But then it has a glow-in-the-dark hockey mask and a glow-in-the-dark plastic machete.
Yes.
From the Halloween section, and I hang it up every Friday the 13th. It is actually legitimately on my door right now.
Nice.
But that is like it's like my little tradition. I always put that out on Friday the 13th. I'll have to post a picture of that on our Instagram. Yes. But I have a funny story about it. Like I said, I hang it up every Friday the 13th, and then I hang it up for the entirety of Halloween season, right? Because we all know my heart is with Halloween and my heart is with Friday the 13th. Several years ago in the house that I lived in, actually, when I made that wreath, there was hedges along our walkway and like the little like sidewalk leading up to our front door. And there was one night when we had ordered DoorDash or Uber Eats, one of those. And we got like a text from the driver that's like, "We're here. Can someone come out and get the food?" We're like, "That's weird. Like, why can they not bring it up to the door? Like, we've never had this happen before." But like one of us went out and grabbed it, whatever, everything was fine. Still never figured out why until a few days later. I had gone out to run some errands, and when I came home, it was dark out. So our front porch light was on. And I realized from the street of my house, like right outside my house, all you could see over the edges was a hockey mask.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And it looks like there's a person, like you can't tell it was a wreath, like you can't tell any of it. You just see the mask. And I was like, oh my gosh, this person was terrified, thinking there's somebody dressed as Jason on this front porch. Like, fuck no, I'm not delivering their food. So if you live in Texas and you tried to deliver food one day, like probably 6 or 7 years ago, and you thought Jason was going to kill you, I'm sorry.
Right? Bad Lindsey. So Fun little fact about Friday the 13th. According to some estimates, Modern Fear makes airline flights cheaper on Friday the 13th because no one
I'd
wants to be
probably
on
get
an
there so
airplane.
fast.
Yeah, nobody wants to fly on the unluckiest day of the year. So stock prices tend to fall on Friday the 13th because of that as well.
Oh, wow. You know,
So that was weird. I didn't know that.
You know, in our research, and maybe you saw something I didn't. Did you ever see like why like some construction workers like they skip the 13th floor?
The 13th floor. Oh shit! It was in 1408, the movie. Oh, I feel like I'm failing at life right now. It's my favorite movie. Well, okay, that's a lie. I have a lot of favorite movies. I'm for those of you who don't know me personally, I have a huge passion for film and TV. Like I love anything that tells me a story. I love reading as well. Storytelling, it holds a special place in my heart. And so I love watching movies, especially movies based on books. Very intriguing to me. But yeah, so I believe it's just because it's considered unlucky.
Yeah,
so
I googled
they skip it.
It boils down to the fear of the number 13, which is
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm gonna. Everybody knows the word, but I'm sure I'm gonna say it wrong. Decaphobia.
Oh yeah, the fear of numbers. Yeah.
The fear of number 13 specifically.
Oh, is it number 13?
But I never understood it because there's still 13 floors. You just called it something different.
Yep. They call it 14 instead of 13. It's weird how
Yeah.
they skip it altogether. I thought it had to do for the longest time when I was growing up with it. Like the lobby wasn't considered a floor. And then it started out like, but nope, that's not what it is.
Yeah. I don't know. So I guess it really is just goes back to the fact that like the number 13 is not the perfect number 12.
It's cursed. Cursed, I tell you.
Comparison is a thief of joy, guys. Comparing it to 12. 13's better. Which, by the way, I think I mentioned in our last episode, we celebrated my 31st birthday. And if I didn't mention this, that's what it is.
You said you were going to celebrate your birthday. We hadn't.
Yeah, because it was before my actual birthday. But I think
and Lindsay, what happened at your birthday?
We'll get into that in a minute. But I was just gonna say I turned 31 and I've been excited because 31 is just 13 backwards and 13 is my favorite number. But what happened on that day? Let's see. I can't believe we didn't mention this earlier. I was sitting here. It was a very busy day that day. I was starting to get into stress panic mode, right? And you know,
because like right before a party, everything seems to go wrong. Somebody needs something.
It was
everything's falling apart. Yeah.
It was like I just somehow got way behind because in my head I had the entire day planned out and it was going to go smoothly, and it just did not work out that way because life never does. Yeah. And a few days prior, Anna had told me that she had mailed a present to me, and like I had a tracking number texted to me because I have informed delivery from FedEx. So FedEx texted me saying,
"Did you ever figure out what that package was, by the way?"
Maybe let's find out. But no, so we're sitting there, and finally, because I did a themed birthday. I did a Taylor Swift theme, because I wanted to. And so I'm sitting there trying to put my makeup on. Like I just put on fake lashes, which by the way, if anyone knows anything about magnetic lashes, like give me your tips and tricks. Although I guess never mind, because I never found them. So they fell off. We don't know when they fell off, where they fell off, anything. Anyways, my doorbell rings and I was going to ignore it because I'm like, oh, it's probably just a package. And then I was like, well, wait. Like maybe my guests arrived early because I didn't invite one of our friends over or whatever. And I was like, maybe they arrived early. Like I need to just make sure it's no one there. And I go and I look at our doorbell camera and it's my dad standing there. And my dad travels. I don't remember if we've mentioned that before. We've talked about my dad several times on here. It's Keith Smith.
He's the coolest nomad we know.
Yes, but he travels a lot. So I didn't expect him to come to my birthday. Last I heard, he was in New Mexico. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, like my dad's here. So I go and I answer the door and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, I wanted to show up for your birthday. He goes, but did you know there's a box out here? I was like, oh, well, she had sent me a package. So maybe they put it over there for some reason. He's like, yeah, it's really big. You might need help carrying it. Like you want to see? And I walked, like I didn't think a thing of it this entire time. I'm like, oh, okay. Like that's weird. They've never put a package over there, but maybe it was heavy. And I walk around and turn the corner and who's there but Anna.
And I don't know how you didn't think it was weird your dad was recording you.
I didn't notice.
Oh, yeah. I drove. Okay, so backstory. I watched this TikTok video. Yeah, everything leads back to fucking TikTok, guys. I'm sorry.
Always.
I was watching this TikTok video and this girl planned a party and nobody showed up for her party. And she's like, I just wish I had one friend. And like, it was so fucking heartbreaking. And I was like, I want to go to Lindsay's party. And so I asked my husband, he's like, meh, okay. And he's like, the last time we took the dogs, it didn't go well. I'll stay home with the dogs. I said, oh, okay. So
backstory, her dog ate the carpet in my hallway.
Yeah, he's kind of a fucking asshole. He's better now. We had just got him like
we redid our floors. So
we had just got him like a week before and he needed some intense training. But so he stayed here with Landon and the dogs and I drove all the way down there. And then I brought an evening gown, which if you follow us on Instagram, you've probably seen that or Facebook. But I showed up in an evening gown and I took my bag into the gas station to the bathroom, changed clothes, came out in an evening gown. This snarky little bitch of a teenager goes, oh my God, you look fucking retarded. And I was like, thanks, it's for my OnlyFans. And then she goes, oh, and then I just walked off. Like, don't be a snarky asshole. Just a PSA to everybody. Just like keep your opinions to yourself.
Also,
anyway,
PSA, Anna does not actually have an OnlyFans.
I don't. I mean, I'm not that brave, but if I had one, I would tell everybody because like I'd have that kind of confidence. I feel like
no
you have
shame
to be
in
super
getting that
confident.
money.
I feel like you have to have some fucking confidence to have an OnlyFans. I don't have an OnlyFans.
Me neither.
I'm not that cool. I'm not that confident. I'm also married. My husband probably wouldn't like it too much, things. But I do have a job. I got a job. I'll get into that in a second. But so yeah, like I drive 4 more hours in like a very glittery, very itchy evening gown. And me and her dad had connived and I had her husband in on it. Blake was in on it, who's our friend. And then her dad was in it. Hey, Blake. Hey, Dad. Hey, Behe. Not that Behe listens, but hey, Behe. Like I was like, I had everybody circled in like for me to surprise her. And I get there and like my goal with giving any present is to make people cry. I don't know what is wrong with me. I might be sadistic. I don't know. But I want people to cry when I give them a present because I want them to be that happy. And I finally did it. Somebody cried.
Yes, I did. But what's so funny is because I remember when we uploaded the video to Facebook and Instagram and stuff, Blake says, well, did you like my foreshadowing? Here's all the hints that I just totally missed, y'all. 1, Blake says, I'll just hop in a car and pick up Anna and we'll come to your party. But we talk like that all the time.
Yeah, so I asked her if she had street parking.
Yeah, she was asking me all about the parking. I was like, oh, they come over all the time. Parking's never been an issue. Like,
I told her to make extra food so she'd have lunch for the next day.
And you sent me, this is the one where I feel so duped and like, how did I miss it? She sent me outfit options and said, these are what I would wear if I was coming. And I was like, oh, wow, those are great. I thought she was just a good friend.
And then I didn't wear any of those outfits. I realized I had a gown that I had bought at Goodwill and I was like, oh, I can use that.
It was just so funny because like I didn't put any of it together. And like the whole cover story of have him record your reactions. Like, I know that she likes to see people's reactions. I know that she wants people to cry. And I remember being like, telling my husband, because I was like, oh, by the way, like she said you have to record it. And he's like, oh, okay. So like good for him for like not cracking a smile, nothing. And I was like,
he was like probably over my shit at that point. He was like, shenanigans over.
I was like, I don't know why she wants to record it. Like it puts a lot of pressure on me because I cry extremely easily. But if I feel like there's any sort of spotlight on me, it's more like I dissociate a little bit. So like I don't.
You genuinely cry. You don't cry on command to be manipulative. There is a difference.
Right. But like I'll cry if I talk about Moana for too long.
Oh, I know.
I'll break down crying. If I think about Moana, not watching it, if I think about it, I will cry. Or that
scene in Brave where she throws a tapestry into the fucking fire or the bow and arrow into the fire and like tries to dig it out. Oh.
Like
Yeah.
I've tried to describe scenes from Frozen 2 and my voice is cracking. And so like I
can't,
cry
I
very
personally
easily.
cannot talk about Up. Like that first 8 minutes of the movie, like fucks with me on a spiritual level. So sad. Why can't they have babies? I'm not okay with that.
Like the point being is I cry really easily, but I also get really self-conscious if like all eyes on me. And so she's like, record your reaction. I need to see you cry. I'm like, well, that's just a lot of pressure because what if like what if I don't cry? What if I like, I'm just like, oh, this is really cool. You know, but
when
yeah,
in reality, I wanted it to be recorded
Also-
for us just to have that memory saved in
Also-
capsule forever.
She told me she was driving her niece around all day.
Oh yeah, I
believed
made
it.
up all kinds of crap.
I believed it.
My niece doesn't have a driver's license yet. She's about to be 16. Shout out to Whitney if you're listening. Sorry, I lied about you. But Whitney doesn't drive, and then Janice, my aunt, just had surgery. So I was like, oh, I have to drive Whitney all over Helen Creation, and then I got to pick up groceries for Janice. So I'm gonna be gone for like
It was
8
all
hours today.
Very valid. And she kept telling me, like, she's like, oh, I might lose signal. I'm driving through backwoods. Well, yeah, I've been up there. I've lost signal up there. Like, I understand. And so I'm just like, yeah, okay. Like, I'll talk to you when you're home. Like, whatever. And then like,
Well, I mostly told her that I would be driving all day. That way she didn't try to like video call me and be like blown the cover. Like, why can't you
Right.
video chat?
yeah. And then like,
There was so much
Also-
lying that went into this surprise.
also, I'm going to take a brief moment. This is my official apology to my granny because I used a curse word. My sister heard all about it at Sunday dinner.
Oh,
And
well, I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry, Granny, although I'm
think
pretty
we've
sure
already
I said
cussed
that
in this
word in this episode.
yeah.
But maybe somebody can play you just this clip with all the rest edited out. I apologize.
Right.
But also,
Right. I didn't. Your dad specifically edited the video that he put on the internet
and
and
then
then sent me the unedited copy. And I was like, oh, I
And
wasn't supposed to post that.
yeah.
I'm so sorry. So yes. And you're fun. It's funny because
But-
you said your granny knew. She said on Facebook, she's like, we even knew up here. Like,
everyone
I-
was in on it.
I
yeah.
didn't tell her. I guess your dad told her what we were up
Well,
to.
I had everybody, like my sisters, my mom, everybody was like, man, like I wish we could come. And so I didn't think anything of it when everybody, including Blake and Anna and everyone who's in on this is like, yeah, wish we could come. Wink,
And-
wink.
In my defense, I did have to miss her 30th birthday because of COVID.
Very true. Although I threw you your 30th birthday.
Yes, you did. And
Golden Girls.
I had a good Golden Girls themed birthday party. And
Where
we
we
had
stayed up late watching Moulin Rouge.
we got so drunk and scream singed every
It was
song.
literally just the two of us sitting there on the couch. Like the kids were at my in-laws for a sleepover. And so we were watching Moulin Rouge, which is like, it's so funny. It's one of those things where it's like our favorite movies, but we love it for very different reasons, but we still bond over it.
So
And
tell them your favorite reason for that movie. I'll tell them
that's a
mine.
great story, even though it has a sad ending. And then there's
Mine-
Anna's.
Mine is because it's the ultimate breakup movie because nobody is happy in the end. She dies. Ha. Fantastic. I mean, it's sad, but it's good.
But we sat there watching it, and then like we're safe in my home, drunk. And each time a song came on, oh my god, we love this song, and turned it up.
It's Kesha Glitter Night all over again, but with a
We
movie
did not
instead.
turn it down. We did not turn it back down to the original volume in between the songs. We just were gradually turning it up as the movie went.
It's like the more we
screaming
drank, the
louder
more deaf
along
we
with
got.
it. And honestly, I lived in an HOA at the time, and our houses were
Right.
very close together. I'm surprised somebody didn't call somebody.
Yeah, me too. But it was a good time. I enjoyed, and I got to go to your daughter's birthday, even though I did not jump on the trampolines because of my back. I was there for her birthday too, and it's just so bizarre that somebody that was 6 months old when I met them is now somehow 10.
I just
Not
have to tell
okay
a
with
story.
that.
Nobody knows my children other than people who know us personally. But I just have to tell a little funny story about her birthday party real fast because she pulled one
Yeah.
over on us. You all know how kids have like birthday shirts. My other kids had birthday shirts at their parties. Like it's a thing. She was even telling me how like she went to a birthday party once where like the whole family had it, like mom of the birthday girl, dad of the birthday girl, all that. She's like, well, can we do that? And I was like, well, no, like we don't really have that kind of time. Why don't you just pick one out? And she specifically picked It's like I had like a gaming headset on because she's real big into video games, and it says like level 10 unlocked. And so then she's like, hey mom, make sure you wash my Demon Slayer shirt before the party. And I was like, oh, but you have your level 10 shirt to wear. She's like, oh, okay. And I'm talking, y'all, I specifically did not wash it. Also, I had got her another Demon Slayer shirt as a gift. And so I thought if she just wears the birthday shirt, she'll open her present, see the other shirt, and then like she could throw it on over top or something. Like I thought I had it all figured out. And so she's just like, well, let me just wear both of them. I was like, a layer on. I'm like, no, you're going to get way too hot. Like, just wear the shirt that you specifically asked for your party. So we get there and she's in her level 10 unlocked shirt, good to go. The hostess shows us to our table. And before we even have a chance to pull out a tablecloth to decorate, she rips off that level 10 shirt, and tucked into her shorts was the Demon Slayer shirt. And she's just losing it laughing at how conniving she was. It was hilarious. The only regret is that we wish one of us knew that she was going to do it so we could have recorded it, because like I didn't even get a picture of her in the level 10 shirt. That's how quickly this all happened. I do have a picture of her laughing so hard at herself.
She looked very proud of herself. I'm not gonna lie.
It was so funny. It was so funny.
But as a person, I have to know, what the fuck did FedEx send you that tracking number for? Like, that's the package I was asking you about.
That is the thing.
What package was that?
I don't know. I don't know. It's because I remembered it a few days ago, and I was like, oh wait, I forgot to ever see what that tracking really was. Because guys, like I get informed delivery from FedEx. So anytime anybody mails me something through FedEx, it tells me like it's been picked up. It doesn't tell me what it's from, like if it's from a company. It just tells me like the location it's at, when it's supposed to be delivered. And so I get this tracking the day after she tells me that it's coming or whatever. And I sent her a screenshot. I'm like, oh, hey, is this it? She's like, oh, I don't know. I haven't checked my email, but probably, because it said it was supposed to be delivered Friday, which was the day of the party.
So weird.
So then a few days ago, I checked the tracking and it says it was delivered Friday.
Like I manifested a tracking number.
Right. And we have a coffee subscription, and it may have come on Friday. I can't remember, but maybe. I know what town it comes from on the tracking. And I don't know. I'm going to have to like go into my doorbell camera and go back to that day around that time and see what box was left on my porch. Cause it says on the porch. Cause like I also have cluster mailboxes. So it'll be like left in one of those like package mailboxes.
Right.
But it says it was left at my door. So apparently something got delivered. I have no recollection of anything ever getting delivered that day.
I don't recall seeing a box whenever I showed up, but I mean that.
Yeah, because usually I grab a package and sit it on the shelf by my front door, and unless it's something I was like expecting. You know what? We're gonna pull up my doorbell camera right now and see if we can get back to Friday. Because like I really have no idea, unless it was my coffee and for some reason it came from a different city for once.
Oh, maybe.
Which would be weird, because we've had that subscription for a while now, and it's always said, like, I'll know. Like I said, it doesn't tell me who the packages are from. It just tells me a package is coming, and I can guess by the location if it's something I'm expecting.
Right.
And so I always know which one our coffee is.
So while you look for that, I'm going to tell my little bit of news.
Okay.
So I got a job, ladies and gents and days and thems. I got a job, like a big girl job, like a holy crap, that's more money than I probably need to make job.
Yes, you did, and you deserve it.
I guess. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm so fucking nervous about this job. But it's a marketing style job. I'm not going to go into the details of my job on a platform that everybody can hear across the world. But it's a really cool gig. I'm really excited about it. I get to dress nice all the time. And now nobody looks at me like I'm crazy, because I can just be like, oh, I just came from work. Even though I'll probably just be working from home most of the time, I'll still have to dress nice in case I have like a Zoom meeting or something. But yeah, I got a job. I'm really excited. I had a really good job in January, and then my life exploded. And so everything that wasn't my family went on the back burner for a while.
Obviously, yeah.
I mean, we were going to start the podcast and stuff earlier, and then that did not happen. But you know, I feel like it's been long enough now. I've grieved to where I'm not crying like randomly every day. So I feel like I can compose myself enough to hold down a job. And her birthday is coming up, which is going to be a really hard day. But if it's too hard of a day, I go to the doctor the day after. So there is that.
Yeah.
And my doctor's like the best doctor ever. I swear, I had one good doctor. His name was Dr. Cloud.
Oh, yes. I had Dr. Cloud too.
Dr. Cloud, if you're listening, we miss you.
I don't know how you would ever have heard of this podcast.
Hey, you never, he liked golf. That's all I knew about him because he had like those golf ball collection in his office.
Well, he was also the doctor that my oldest, I don't think I ever got into this. Like she had issues and we were military. Therefore, everything to get her to the specialist she needed to, we had to go to the military doctors to get referrals. Yeah. And so he was the doctor and he would basically just kind of go in there, talk to us like, hey, what's going on? And then give us the referrals. And he was just like always like so nice and made sure we got whatever we needed and told us like we were doing a good job, like advocating for her because there was a lot of, we don't see anything wrong with her. You all are just paranoid, brand new parents. And we're like, no, but like the doctors and nurses in your hospital see the problem and sent us up here. We didn't just bring her to the NICU.
Right.
So, but she's all fine now. She's perfectly healthy. Every doctor she sees now is like, she had problems.
9 years since she's had issues.
Well, 10 because it was just like the first couple of months of her life.
It'll be 10 in November.
Yeah, that was her last hospitalization was sometime in early November.
I remember because we threw a party.
We did.
It was a no more sick baby party, and we were very excited.
1 year anniversary, yeah. So I found on the doorbell camera, it's hard for me to zoom in because of the way the FedEx guy carried the box.
Right.
But it looks like it was probably my coffee.
Oh, well, mystery solved. Because it really has been bothering me.
Me too, because like I said, I don't remember. I remember my coffee coming. I don't remember which day it was because it was one of those weeks where I was fully booked all day, every day.
Well, because school was about to start, so everything was about to start. Chaotic.
I babysat, I dog sat. My birthday, my daughter's birthday, like.
Then your birthday party, then your daughter's
birthday party, meet the teacher night, my daughter's birthday party, and then. And then she had unintended company in town.
She had house crashers.
So it was a very, very busy time. Not a bad time by any means, but very busy. Lots of information crammed into a short amount of time. So I couldn't remember what packages showed up. Not to mention my daughter's birthday. Like I'm a stay-at-home mom. My husband works ungodly hours. You think I had a birthday shocked in person? I did one day. I got my kids watched one day.
Yeah.
By a friend and like. But otherwise, it was all Amazon. So like we were getting tons of packages anyways. And so
and
it all blurred together.
Every time packages come, sorry, my alarm was going off. Every time packages come, they think it's for them. At least that's how it is at my house. Land's like, what'd you buy me? I'm like, I didn't buy you nothing. Calm down.
What is that, Mom? What is it? Who's it from?
Yeah. He actually got mail. Oh, it's the cutest thing before we go. He got mail from his teacher. Aww. And it was like a little postcard. It said, this year's going to be dynamite. Yeah. Just like all cute. Broke up like that. Had dinosaurs all over it. And then she put a sweet little note about how she was excited to meet him and stuff. Well, that was sweet. The sweetest thing ever. She seems really like a really nice teacher. So thank God. Because somebody's got to put up with him and like, whoo, he's a tornado. I love him. He's a lot. But
let me just say, because we've talked probably for 20 minutes about just nonsensical things. This is a bonus episode. If it wasn't clear, this is a bonus episode. So y'all can deal with the fact that half the episode is just us talking about our lives. You'll still get your normal episode next week.
Yep.
But you all remembered at the end of the last one, I realized Friday the 13th was this week. So we had to do something special. We love it.
And we love you guys. So come on back next week at our regularly scheduled time and, catch us on all your favorite platforms. We will love to continue to provide awesome content for you guys.
We got a new country.
Did we really? What country?
Remember? Wasn't it from before the last or after the last episode? I mean,
maybe. I think. Which one is it though?
I think the last time we talked, our new country was Israel. Now we have Brazil.
What? Oh, yes. That's so exciting.
So exciting. We somehow keep spreading around the world and still nobody will tell us how they found us.
unless we personally know people are listening, like friends of
I
friends.
know people
or family,
from Brazil. I
you
don't
know?
know anybody currently in Brazil.
I don't know anybody in Brazil, so
No, but thank you so
we're excited.
much.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Because of you, we get to
Yes.
create good content and have fun doing it. So until next time, stay spooky, listeners.
Bye.
Bye. Hello.
Hey, Anna. Is that a new outfit? You look super cute.
It is. I just went to this really cute store in town called Mainstream Boutique.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it's a really awesome store. It's like my little hidden secret. It's locally owned by a really wonderful woman named Kim. She's the kindest, most genuine person I've ever met. It's a women's retail boutique that offers a unique selection of clothes and apparel and accessories for all generations. So teenagers to 20 and up. It's magic. I mean, we've talked for years about what do we wear? I don't know what to wear at this age. I don't want to look like a teenager. This store is the store that has changed my outlook on how I appear as an adult.
Oh, that's so cool.
They
You said it's a
offer-
local store?
Yeah, it's local to Shawnee, Oklahoma, but they do ship.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to get on that website. What's their website?
Their website is mainstreamboutique.com. They also have a Facebook page, which is Mainstream Boutique of Shawnee. They're a apparel and accessories for multi-generations. Their mission, which I really stand behind, is to empower, strengthen, and celebrate women in the world throughout fashion. And I think that's so
I love that.
And
I'm going right now to check that out, especially if they ship. That's awesome.
it's mainstreamboutique.com or Mainstream Boutique of Shawnee. We'll put all the links in our bio, but I have an exclusive for you guys. Are you ready?
What?
I talked to the owner today. For our listeners only, you get 10% off your full ticket items.
Oh my God.
All full priced items when you ring up, 10% off, whether it's online or in person. And if you go in person, tell them we said, hey, they said to use the code GABB for a discount code. And if you use our discount code, you get 10% off all full price items of your entire ticket. How cool is that?
That is amazing. I can't wait to go check it out.
Well, the next time you come visit me, we'll have to have a shopping spree.
I'm in.
GABB is your promo code.
Thank you for listening to Ghosts in the Attics, Bodies in the Basement, a Fearscape Media podcast. Music by Stephen Timperley. Artwork by Laura Ramsey. Find us online at fearscapemedia.com/GABB podcast or on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at GABB podcast or email us gabbpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you.